Today, we are going to be talking about quests. So, in our fantasy stories that we are drafting, in The Thief of Always, in other fantasy stories that you've read or watched before, characters typically go on a quest. And they all the stories kind of follow a similar format in the fact that the characters seem to leave their homes, go on some type of journey. And usually they don't just face one problem. Usually they kind of have a series of problems that they're going through, and it follows that narrative structure. So, like in this Percy Jackson series, he's searching for Zeus's lightning bolt, and he's going on that quest, trying to do that thing. Now, the better you get at reading fantasy and being a fantasy reader, you start to learn that most fantasies follow that structure. They follow that quest structure. And it's often interesting to see how people who get really skilled at reading fantasy don't just investigate that outward quest, but they also look at the internal quest as well, which is what we're going to talk about today. So, what I want to think about is you should be expecting a quest structure. You should be expecting it anytime you read a fantasy story. So sometimes the quest might involve rescuing a captive, like in Shrek. Other times it might be a hero trying to destroy or overpower a villain, like in Harry Potter. Another common quest is that a hero goes into another world or another place, like Alice in Wonderland. And so, one thing that's interesting is our character in The Thief of Always is on this quest. And now, when we look at a timeline of Harvey's quest, we can see that he goes on both an external quest as well as an internal quest. So, in his external quest, he goes to the house, he escapes, he finds his home, he goes back to the house, and then we're getting to the part of destroying um, Mr. Hood and him trying to do that. Now, his external quest is to save all of the children trapped in the house. But Harvey's internal quest is different. He is dealing with boredom. He chooses gifts and activities. Then he starts missing his parents. He's trying to resist greed, tackle evil, and all of that internal quest is really what molds and shapes and changes Harvey, those things going on inside of himself. Now, it's pretty fascinating to think about both of these quests, isn't it? And someone who's not really good at reading fantasy might not understand this. They might not know that fantasies follow this quest structure. But people like us who are getting really good with fantasy, we understand this. And so we should be able to see that external quest going on alongside the internal quest that really is causing the character to change, which we know then teaches us those themes. So, what I want you to work on today is to pick a fantasy story. You have a whole list of them. If you click here, you may pick any one of those. You can do more than one if you want. And you are going to go through thinking about this. First, what is the external quest? Because all fantasies follow that quest structure. Now, that's on the outside. External is the outside. So, what is the big problem the reader's going through or those obstacles that are coming along their way? But then dig deeper, because what's their internal quest? What's going on inside of the main character? What are their flaws? Because we know characters aren't perfect. Or what are they trying to fix? What are the conflicts they're having with themselves or with other characters? So you should be able to pair that there's an external quest going on as well as an internal quest. And that's going to help you to dig deeper. Anytime you read a fantasy, remember this. They follow the quest structure. You're ready now. Go pick a story and work on what are the character's external and internal quests.